Hello, this is Nick from Breaker Press Games here today to talk to you about Dungeon Crawl Classics, The Corpse That Love Built, 2018 Halloween module, a level 2 adventure by Stephen Newton. As you can see by looking at the cover, it is as one would expect from Goodman Games, it is a very characterful and evocative cover that really conveys what the story is going to be about. The story is about a group of characters that need to break into a keep to find out what is up with Dr. von Geisterblut, a name that I stumbled over at least a half dozen times while running the adventure on the Sunday before Halloween. Let's dive in, and I'll show you a couple of things to give you a sense of what the 16-page module contains. As can be expected with anything from Goodman Games, the artwork is fantastic and evocative, very, very characterful. The background is very lengthy, and the characters will have almost no knowledge of the backing story behind what is happening. I felt that for my players, they were sort of confused. I had to push them to, oh yeah, here, you just need to go to this keep. It is a humorous, campy story about a doctor who is hidden himself away in his keep. The story begins with the players at a church on a dark and stormy night. And a Father Geralt gives a screaming, hysterical speech about that sets up the players for what is about to take place. And as soon as the speech ends and he starts walking away, a bunch of minions come storming in. That ensues. It is an action-packed way to start the adventure off and get people going, particularly after this long bit of text. The players then get to know some of the information from this background through a series of rumors. The combat ends, and after the attack, they get to talk to the townspeople. And while they're talking to the townspeople, a bunch of these rumors are revealed. And some of them, as is typical of a rumor section, some of them are completely bogus, and some of them are actually details that have to do with the text in the background section. So, we skip over the 24 rumors. I do love this piece of art. This is the type of thing that drew me into role-playing games in the first place. I do wish that there had been a piece of art on the first page having to do with the actual minions that I came busting into the church while the priest was making his impassioned speech. But that being said, it is a minor complaint, and after I had shown the players this image, then realized that, oh, these are monsters from later in the adventure, and then I was like, oh, those first monsters looked something more like this. But a minor complaint. Once the players are given some background, they're essentially pushed onwards towards the keep of Dr. von Geisterblut. I'll get it right eventually. And there is a series of monsters, tricks, and traps that they have to get through in order to get inside. I love this particular detail of the doctor has used his wealth to modify the tower from the keep to emulate the image of his lost love, and this picture is it reminds me a lot of the Statue of Liberty sticking out of the ground in one of the Planet of the Apes movies, one of the original Planet of the Apes movies. I think it's great. So anyways, the players go to this keep, dark, stormy night, all sorts of interesting things are happening as they push their way inward. And I'm going to skip the centerfold because it is too revealing of what is going to take place. But fantastic maps. It being a 16-page module, it is a perfect one-shot for a single evening. We started at 6 rolling up characters because we didn't want to use the characters from our existing campaign. And we went straight into playing at about 7 o'clock and played until 10:30. We did, because people had to get up in the morning, skip over a couple of the rooms, some of the non-essential rooms, which I think would have been very enjoyable for the players had we had the time, but unfortunately we did not. I thought it was all very interesting, and it's interesting how some of the things that there's like one room where there's a point where they expect the players to spend a lot of time eating away at the clock, and my players just were like, oh, there's a bunch of XYZ happening, we're just going to ignore it and continue onward. And they did not take the bait. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. So it goes through. There's a short area of dungeon underneath the tower, and then we get into concluding the adventure. Final battle is fairly tough, and in that final battle, out of the 4 characters that we rolled up for the adventure, 3 of them died. 1 of them escaped with their life, and the arch-villain of the story also escaped. But there are some interesting leads that they add at the end, just in case you want to continue the story of what happens to the party after their encounter with the corpse that Love built. So, that being said, yeah, it's a nice, fun way to spend a evening right around Halloween, or if you just like spooky things. The artwork is fantastic. It's definitely worth the $10, just like you would expect from a Goodman Games product. And yeah, we all really enjoyed it, and I imagine we will run it again. I know one of my players thinks that one of our extended friends that we don't get to see very often would really enjoy playing through it. So we may end up playing through it again with a different group of people. So that being said, my name is Nick. I am from Breaker Press Games, and thanks for watching.